Hello, and welcome to our 5th video in the Creating Digital Portfolios Using Google Slides tutorial series. In the last few videos, you've learned what color and font palettes were and why they were important. You also learned how to create your own color palettes and typeface palettes using tools such as coolers.co and fontpair.co. Once you've created your font and color palettes, you then learned how to bring them together so that you can create the text boxes that will be used throughout your entire project. Now that we've gotten through all of that and you have the design basics out of the way, it is time to really begin thinking about how to build your actual portfolio. In this video, we will work together on going through your Google Drive and finding all of the work that you want to include into your digital portfolio. What you include in your portfolio is up to you, your teacher, and your audience. Today, you will learn how to create a new folder on Google Drive that will hold all of your portfolio artifacts that will then be linked on your Google Slides portfolio. Let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I'd like for you to do is go ahead and take some time to log into your Google Drive. Once you are logged in, there are a few tips that I want to run by you so that you can complete this part of the project as quickly as possible. The first tip is switching your views in Google Drive. So, on the upper right-hand corner, you have this little icon here that switches your drive from what you're looking at now, which is called List View, which takes everything in your drive and puts it into a list, and your grid view, which just takes everything in your drive and puts it into a grid so that you can see snapshots of what it is that you are looking at. The next tip is to learn how to navigate your drive by using this little part of Google Drive here that I use to navigate. So, for example, if I click on a folder on this side of Google Drive, it will change my navigation pane or my view window to show me what's inside of that folder. Okay? You don't necessarily always have to double click on the folder to open it. You can actually do the same thing by clicking on the folders on the left-hand side. The third tip is learning how to use these drop-down arrows to help you access folders quickly. There are times where you're going to want to move stuff from your drive to another folder. So in order to do that successfully, you have to know how to drop down your folders so that you can see what's inside. For example, if I want this document to be inside of this folder called 2017-2018, if I go ahead and click on this folder, I won't see the document anymore. So what I do is I click on my drive, and then I drop down the folder that I want to put this in, and I can click and drag my document to whatever folder I want it to be in. All right? That is the last tip in order for us to correctly and quickly navigate your Google Drive. Now that you've learned how to navigate your Google Drive, let's begin by creating a new folder inside of your drive. Make sure, again, that your drive is selected. You're going to click New, Folder, and we're going to title it Digital Portfolio Artifacts. Now, what we're going to put into this folder are all of the things that you want to link out to in your portfolio. Okay? So now that you've created your folder, we are going to start looking all through your drive until you find the things that you want to include into your portfolio. Now remember, you can create as many folders as you like. So inside of my Digital Portfolio Artifacts folder, you can go ahead and create a folder for your ELA class, where you will put anything that has to do with ELA, so your essays, any book reports or assignments that you've done in English class. You can also go ahead and add a folder called Goals, and anything tied to goals that you've been working on can be put into this folder. Another one is you can create a folder to add things for after school. Right? So in this folder, you might want to include anything that you do after school. So from pictures to poems or artwork that you've done, you can add them into these folders. Whatever you include into your digital portfolio artifacts are going to be included into your actual portfolio. So this is probably going to be the part of the project that takes the longest because it's going to require you to go through your drive and find things that you want to add. So with that said, what I want you to do now is take some time and go through your drive and find one thing that you'd want to add. So for me, I have this folder here called NYVCC, which stands for the New York Video Game Critics Circle. I'm going to open that up, and I actually want to see my snapshots or my quick view, so I'm going to change my view over to grid, and this will show me what it is what I'm looking at, right? So I'm going to open my 2017, 2018 folder, and let's see what's in here. In here, I have a list of documents and essays and game reviews that students have written. I want to include a few of those. So what I'm going to do here, I see that these 5 actually have work in them, so I definitely want to include them. And what you're going to do is there's a little trick. If you hold Command or Control on your computer, you are able to select different artifacts without having to do them one at a time. So when you hold Command, it lets you choose different artifacts so that you can move them all at once. Once you've selected what you want to include, you are going to click and drag to the folder that you want it to be in. In this case, it is going to go in my digital portfolio artifacts. And once I do that, you're going to get a notification letting you know that if this was a shared folder, people who have it are not going to be able to access these documents anymore. If you do not get a notification, you're okay. So go ahead and click OK, and anything that I've moved from here will now be over in my digital portfolio artifacts folder. Now, if you notice, I don't have a folder to put this in, so I'm going to go ahead and create a new folder, and I'm going to title this Game Reviews. And anything that I have inside of this digital portfolio artifacts folder that has to do with game reviews, I can select them and just move them right into that folder. It is important for you to organize your work clearly, otherwise you will lose a lot of the work that you are trying to find. Now that I've done that, I want to include maybe some pictures. So I'll open up my NYVCC folder, and I know that in 2016 I took a lot of pictures for Video Game Club. So I'll open up my media folder, and inside of my media folder we have a virtual reality trial that we did with all these cool pictures and videos. So I'm going to go ahead and select a few from here by pressing and holding Command or Control, and I'm going to pick the ones that I like. So I'd like to include maybe one video, a few pictures that I think are pretty cool that show what the event was about. And when you are ready and you've selected the things that you wanted, you can go ahead and click, drag, and move it right on over to your digital portfolio folder. And once I've moved that over, those will disappear and be placed over in my digital portfolio artifacts folder. You're going to go ahead and do this for all of your subject areas. Speak to your teacher or to your counselor about what needs to be included and move them all over to this folder. Once they are all in there, we are going to create a link for the stuff that you want to include in your portfolio. Now, in my case, I am going to start with creating links for my game reviews, all right, that students have written. So what you're going to do is you are going to find the artifact that you want to make a link for, and you are going to click on it, and then you're going to click on this little button here that says Get Shareable Link, or you can also right-click on the document and click on Get Shareable Link here. Once you click on that, a little pop-up box is going to show off telling you that link sharing is off. So what I want you to do is turn it on, and it's going to give you a link, but be careful. If you share this link, only people within your school will be able to see it or access it. So you're going to turn on your share, you're going to turn the link sharing on, then you're going to click where it says Sharing Settings. And when this screen pops up, you might be familiar with this. This is how you share with others. You can either choose to share it to individual people by typing in their email addresses, or you can make it so that anyone with this link will be able to view it. If you remember, right now, when I turn this on, only people at my school will be able to see this. So when I click here and click More, you'll get all of the options available to you. The first thing I need you to realize is that you need to make sure that the access is view only. You don't want strangers editing and commenting on your work, so make sure that they can only view it. Once you've changed this to Can View, I'd like for you to select On for anyone with the link. What this means that anyone who you share this link to, will be able to view this document without signing in. So once you've selected anyone with the link and you've made it so that they can view only, you're going to click Save, and that goes ahead and creates a link for you that you can share with others. All right, once you've done that, click Done, and this document has officially been shared. Now I want you to do another one just so you can practice, and we'll go through it together. Again, you right-click, get a shareable link, turn it on, and then go to Sharing Settings and make it so that anyone with the link can view it only, and go ahead and hit Save. You don't have to do this for all of your documents at the same time. You can create the links when you need them. And we will go over that later on when we go into adding the links to your digital portfolio. And now that you've done this and you've organized your Google Drive and you organize your digital portfolio artifact folder and you've gone in and pretty much figured out what you want your portfolio to include, you are ready to move on to video 6, where we will begin creating your digital portfolio slide.